blessed people. I wanted to address something that came up recently that I didn't even think of. Well, I thought of it, but I didn't think that it was necessary to do a video about it until now. So I have a subscriber that was embarked on a 40-day fast, and I guess the thinking is if Deborah can do it, I can do it. So I'm not too sure exactly why this fast was done, but at the halfway point, about 21 days, I got a message from the subscriber saying that they wanted to stop because they were having a difficult time sleeping, and I reassured the subscriber, this person, that you know what, it's gonna be okay. That's part of probably the repair or the detox symptoms that you're gonna experience, and it'll pass, because I've had that happen to me as well. So anyway, sure enough, 23 days later, I got another message. 45 days later. Anyway, the point is that the message went a little something like this. I stayed on course and made it through 43 days. I'm on my second day of refeeding. How long till you think I can eat potato chips? So I responded, you must like potatoes. Laugh out loud, okay? So I'm thinking this is a joke, okay? But I don't think it was. So this is what the next response was. Well, I've been craving Lay's, potato chips, and pecan cinnamon rolls freshly out of the oven. And let me just stop right there and just say that when you fast, you do start to, and you're about to embark on refeeding, you do start to imagine how food would taste, like, because you've had it before. So I had that same experience. But my cravings were for bean sprouts and avocado. That's the kind of cravings I was having. So I don't know. I guess you have to be thinking. I was thinking to myself, this is a chance for me to do things differently. I've always been an athlete, so it was kind of my chance to kind of get back on track and to put the weight back on, but to do it in a way that was healthy. I knew that through my research, I knew that was just a fresh slate for me. And all my life, I always prayed for a couple things. That's one thing I really I prayed about all my life, was the weight. And at some periods, I did lose weight with my own kind of research and my own ideas, but this was really our Heavenly Father led me to do this 40-day fast. So anyway, this is what else was said. So cinnamon rolls freshly out of the oven, but I really only been doing watermelon mainly. So mainly refeeding with watermelon. It's only been 2 days, mind you, right? So it's only been 2 days, so listen to what already has been eaten. So yesterday, I had a bowel movement yesterday, and I think I overate. On this smoothie, they had kale, dates, black and blueberries, banana, avocado, and apple. I put whipped cream in it as well. I think that was what killed me. I think anything I put in came out. It wasn't pretty. I have this experience, but I had this with just watermelon, and I think I tried strawberries. My body, I had to kind of stop eating for a bit again, just to get my body to kind of just settle down. It was just an awful thing. And I did a video on this, how to refeed. You have to do it slowly, because your body, well, I'll talk about the things I think are concerned. But anyway, this is what the last thing I'm going to share with you. You can see the entire segment of comments. I'll pin the video in the description. But it says, I can email you a short video or a pic. I'm sad because I look like Skeletor in my face. People in Whole Foods stare at me. I weighed maybe 180 when I started, so putting on weight is my new goal. So the end weight for this subscriber was about 133. So they basically kind of were around the same amount of weight. I was about 179 when I started my fast, and I ended up being 130. So I lost 40 pounds in 40 days for sure. And then some days I didn't even lose any weight, and some days I lost more than a pound. So it's just what the body is doing in that time. Plus I exercised during my fast, and this person did not. So this person was saying that they were an athlete. They actually had a lot of muscle, and apparently did not exercise during their fast because they said they're just skin and bones now. I was led to fast, but I was led to exercise during my fast, because anything you use during your fast, your body will not use it as fuel because it's being used. Alright, so these are the 4 things that I really need to address now based on this experience with the subscriber. I hope that you have a chance to see this. First thing, fasting will change your perspective on food, on life in general. Like, I see food differently. I see going, to outings differently. I noticed that everything focuses around food. Like the temptation is everywhere all the time. In every event, there's always a focal point on food, and it's unnecessary. It changes it'll change your perspective on food, but it also changed the way you see fasting, the way you see health. It changed a lot of things for me. Okay, so number 2. Okay. You will experience detox symptoms. You will experience something during your fast. No, and unless you're avid, like you've been fasting for like years and your body's used to fasting, you will experience detox symptoms and repair symptoms during your fast. That's inevitable. So expect that. So don't get scared when you have a difficult time sleeping, or you feel nauseous, or you have like a little bit of a headache. If you have extreme symptoms, then you may really want to look at that. But there's going to be time. I mean, we're coming from a place as a people that we didn't always have food accessible to us. We didn't always have food, like a fast food joint to go to a grocery store, supplies our food. There's a time when we ate when it was available. So this idea of like fasting not being okay is a silly notion. Fasting is normal, and it makes sense. All right. Number 3, use the fast as a fresh slate. Like, so your body is basically hasn't seen food in a while. Your body hasn't is clean, and so you can reintroduce food in a way that you're rebuilding. So you want to introduce food the way you want it to reintroduce food. Like if you had addictions to food, think about that. What kind of food did you have? Did you have addictions to greasy foods, like fried foods, or the sugary foods? Think about the things that you love and enjoy that are healthy, and expand on that list and eat those things. You can combine things, make salads. You can make nuts and make it into balls. You can combine. There's a lot of things that are healthy and salty that are natural, but you can have the same taste experience as when you have junk, but then you don't have the same repercussions as having junk. Number 4, your body will be more efficient at breaking down food. So you're going to see, like for me, when I eat, I see a bowel movement the same day, or I see a bowel movement the same, like hours later, or I see a bowel movement the next morning, depending on what it is I've eaten. So I did a little experiment recently where I ate kale salad, like with like plum tomatoes, red onions, lime, and salt and pepper as a dressing, and I saw a bowel movement. So I ate it about 3 in the afternoon. I saw a bowel movement either that night or in the morning, and my excrement was green, right? So I knew it was the kale, so it wasn't like from weeks before. And the saddest thing is that before I did the fast, I used to have bowel movements maybe once a week and think that was normal. Like, I was obviously used to walking around with waste in my body, didn't even realize that it had been, think about compost. I think about that now, and I think of myself, I was walking around with old, meat and rice and salad in my body, and whatever junk I ate for like a week. Can you imagine how the same things that happen when your body, when you have when you have compost, that same thing's happening to the food in the body, even more so efficiently because we have bile and acid to break it down. Imagine how it's affecting our bloodstream, our skin. No wonder I had acne for so long. All right. What I'm finding now is that when I eat bread, when I eat excess nuts, I eat chickpeas and broccoli, my body does not respond well to it. So although I'm eating healthier, sometimes I get gassy after eating. Like chickpea and broccoli are for me a no-no. Not right now, at least. And unless I find a way to combine it with something, maybe that will help. And I found my body loves kale, but it does not like broccoli. I found that I'm gassy after broccoli, but particularly gassy after chickpeas. I'm shocked and saddened by it. I guess it is in the bean kind of family. People categorize it as beans. But based on Dr. Sabi's research, chickpea was supposed to be a safer choice, but my body does not like it at all. So I've been staying away from those things. But if I have had bread, and if I do have bread, I usually have it from the bakery because I know there's no preservatives in it. And my body doesn't respond too poorly with it. It may be the preservatives in the bread that is making me not feel that great. Last but not least, when you are not very heavy, Okay, you embark on a long fast, people are going to know that you're fasting. So there's a scripture that says, don't tell people that you're fasting. But for me, people knew I was fasting. I wasn't heavy per se. I was shapely, but I had some meat on me, but I wasn't a heavy set girl this time, in some perspectives. And so when after about like 5-10 days, you could see, not even less than that, you could see that I was losing a lot of weight quickly. And people were asking and commenting like, why are you not eating? My daughter would say she's fasting. So it wasn't a secret. The idea is not to like walk around saying, oh, woe is me, oh, I complain about the fasting, and to make it a big deal, because in that way it says you've gotten your reward, which is the truth. Number 5, it took me a while to gain, like you see the flesh in my face, it took me a long time to get this to come back. As a matter of fact, I too thought to myself, and I mentioned this in my Candida video, that I could eat what I wanted. Because no matter how much I ate so much greens, so much nuts and seeds. I had my avocado, and I could not for the life of me gain weight. It was so, like this person mentioned, it was kind of depressing and saddening. So I started to incorporate turtles and chocolate and stuff like that, thinking I can just eat what I want and get away with it. But what I found is this. I saw it in my face. We're never ever going to be completely free of parasites, because we live in an environment that's very sick. So I was just feeding the parasites that I encountered with the sugar I was eating, and I broke out like terribly. And it also, certain things we eat affect our hormones, it affects our blood sugar, our insulin levels. So we really, once you fast, the unfortunate thing, we are never going to be the same. We are going to have to really think hard about what we put in our bodies, or reap the consequences of what we eat if we eat poorly. And it is what it is. Like even for me, when I eat healthy, it doesn't matter. If I eat too much of something, my body responds to it in some way. So either I have like loose stool, or I have a breakout of some kind. So the unfortunate thing with that is that I always thought that once I finished this fast and my skin was so perfectly clean that I would never see acne again. Unfortunately, that's not true, even with my intermittent fasting. So anyway, those are the 5 things I'd like you to consider when you do a long fast. It's going to take a while to gain the weight back, so don't be afraid. You will. Like, look at me. You will gain the weight back, but the thing with me is, like, I gained periods of time where I gained weight that I wasn't happy with, but it took me like a day of like fasting, intermittent fasting, and eating healthy to get right back on track. So it's a great experience. Overall, it's been a great experience. I've also been so much more keen and seeing what's going on around me. Spiritually speaking, it's been like the high point of my life. So don't be afraid of it. So I just had to share that with you. Okay, so I hope that was helpful for you. Remember, you are made marvelously. I love you, and our Heavenly Father loves you, of course, so much more than I do. All right, if you can imagine that. Until next time, be blessed.